All right. Hello. Back again with a Grimdark Future battle report this time. We're doing 2,000 points. I'm doing my Biel Tan Eldar. He's bringing some Battle Brothers. We've got three objectives. And both of us are preparing for a Grimdark Future campaign. So this is our 2,000 points that we're going to try and bring to that campaign and probably tweak from there. I know that I want to do some tweaking based on my game. So it's good for us to play. We're both also kind of still working on our armies. So there's going to be some unpainted models. Both of us are trying to get our armies in good shape. That's part of this campaign, is to end up with a nicely painted army. So yeah, let's go through the setup. So this is my Biel Tan Eldar. So I start off with an Elven Noble. I've got him running in a Scorpion suit. I've given him the Psychic ability, and I've also threw a little 5-point shield wall upgrade on him. Gave him an Energy Spear, so he's going to be running up there with my Scorpions. I've got a 10-man Dire Avenger squad. Okay, and then we've got a Banshee squad. Killing sword, and we got some dual mirror swords. I don't know in this one, it's a slightly older one, but I actually did buy a I did actually buy a power sword for my adventure squad. It actually would make them a little less. So I may be 5 points under because that's how I played it. So I may have been playing 5 points short. And then a Scorpion squad that we're running up with my Elven Noble, just doing a scout. The plan is just to scout up there and just run up and hit something. We've got a 3-man Ranger squad, so we're going to be using this smaller squad as a chance to maybe pick off some units. It's also very good at taking an objective and then kind of forcing an enemy to come deal with it. I've got some jet bikes. I'm running them with some Lancer spears. So jet bikes are just a very good all around unit. You know, they've got the twin shard guns that can kind of shoot down infantry, and they've got those laser spears. Also, just put stealth on them, which I'm going back and forth about whether I actually want to keep them with stealth. With just all the weapons in the game that have lock on that are going to be targeting them, I'm starting to wonder if maybe stealth isn't a good upgrade for them. And then I'm running just to support artillery, just the regular shadow cannon. I think is good, just a 3-attack blast. So, and there are my psychic spells for all the good it does me. So, but maybe I'm giving away too much. So, Battle Brothers, he's running a very different army than I was expecting. He's running a very much a kind of a pretty a super elite army that's got two tough units, and that exosuit and that attack walker. So he's got two master brothers. They're armed very similarly, jump packs, energy fist, just good shooting. And then he's also got one with advanced tactics, and he's got one with war chant. So just yeah, just two basically hand-to-hand guys that he's going to be ambushing. He's got also two assault brothers, so he's got a nice hand-to-hand component too, where he's just got two 5-man squads that are going to be coming in. He's also just got two 5-man squads of battle brothers with a plasma rifle, so just pretty good. An energy sword on them as well. He's got 3 support brothers with triple plasma cannons, which is nasty. That is triple plasma cannons are absolutely disgusting in this game, with relentless just to throw on there. So my goodness, if you're going to run support brothers, run them with triple plasmas. So this is his first big unit. This heavy exosuit. He's got some cyclone missiles, which is again that lock on. I think I've been playing several games now, and everyone is bringing lock on stuff. So it does make me. I think I'm going to be dropping the stealth on my jet bikes because it does nothing against lock on. He's got a lock on, and then he's got twin heavy flamer. So real good exosuit there. And then on the attack walker, he's running him with a heavy flamer and then an auto cannon. So pretty nice how he set these two units up to have both a short range weapon and a long range weapon on them. So pretty good. It's condensed army, but as you're going to see in this game, those two big tough units are going to give me trouble. So All right, so the setup. So we did modify this a little bit afterwards. You'll see, but we did modify the terrain after I took these pictures. We really wanted to just to have a nice field with a lot of terrain, which is how I think Grimdark should be played. So you're going to see the objectives come down a little later, but so we've got just a lot of blocking terrain and some difficult terrain in the center. We're playing that center's plot as flat terrain, except for the if you will, kind of the thing, the barricades and stuff are going to be difficult. So here, this is the first part. We're going to put the first objective in that beige objective thing. And then I'm going to put the second objective in the center of this area here. So kind of forcing everyone to the middle. He's got a lot of shooting. I have a lot of hand-to-hand. So I'm definitely trying to force him to get to the center. And then this is the other space. We did tweak it around, and you're going to see we put a different building that's blocking on the top right, and that'll be where the other objective goes. So for deployment, this was a mistake. The first thing I deployed was my support battery, and I'll get into that. That probably should have waited until later to deploy this support battery, because as I saw when he saw that I had a lot of hand-to-hand, he saw that I was fast, and he saw that I had some scout units. So he really deployed far back, and it kind of meant that my support battery was having to move up a couple of turns, and so was getting that -1 to hit. So sorry for some of the blurry pictures. So here he's set up, as you see, he's setting far back, which considering that those two objectives are in the center is actually good for me. So attack squad and his exoscoot. For me, as we're bouncing around, I'm actually putting both my Banshee squad and my Shining Spear squad in a building that they can't be shot at. The Banshees can basically just run through a window with Strider and be fine, and the jet bikes also have ignores cover. So it's a really good thing that I was able to protect these units before they were able to get shot off from that long range fire. He deployed his heavy attack walker on the right flank, and you can see that's where one of those ejectors are, and he put one of his attack squad there. My scout moves, I put the Rangers, as you're going to see, to the far left on the objective, and then I went ahead and just put my full Scorpion squad with my leader. My leader is that headless Karandras over there that I'm still working on that model as well. So my thought is that that attack walker, how hard can it be? I'm just going to charge it, and we'll get into how effective that was. So yeah, sorry for this is another one of the blurry ones. You see I have my Rangers there. There is an objective in that bay where the Rangers are. There's an objective there. So I went ahead and just scouted up my Rangers in there. All right, turn 1. So you don't see them, but on the bottom, I have my Dire Avengers set up there, and he shot me with triple plasma cannon. Now, by all averages, that should have just took a huge chunk out of that squad, but he rolled bad. He only hit 1 out of 3, and I had to just show this save. It's crazy. And so I need 6s, and I rolled 3 6s. And so being hit with a plasma cannon, luckily only 1 shot, my Dire Avengers all save. So it's just a crazy good roll to start off the game. So here I charge him, and man, I put I get my impact hits, and I get a lot of just attacks, but that 2-up armor and is just really tough. I've been playing more Age of Fantasy where kind of these big tough models don't all have armor 2, and I think that's a big difference that Grimdark brings, is that a lot of these tough models all start out with this armor 2+, and so I'm still getting used to the fact that just how hard some of these models are to kill. Luckily, so he stomped back and killed a couple. Luckily, he actually rolled a 1 and he's pinned, so I only did 5 wounds on him, so I didn't get 6 on him. But he rolled a 1, and lucky for me, that unit got pinned. So I had a lot of luck right here, and that walker got pinned. Here he actually moved up some other units off screen, And then my support already moved up and shot him. I think I hit twice, and he rolled some bad saves. I think he failed half of them. And then so they're down to 3, and then they also roll a 1, so they are also pinned. So I definitely have the rolls are going in my favor right now, which was a big help to get those 2 units pinned. Here I just after their near miraculous survival, I move my Dire Avengers up. He moves his Battle Brother squad up there. He didn't have anything to shoot. After he moved his Battle Brother squad up, I rushed my Banshees. With just it's a 16-inch charge with Strider, so those Banshees were able to just get up in his face real early. And after that, I just had it was only my models left. So the last thing I did, I rushed my jet bikes up there, and they captured that center objective. So right now he's got 1 objective and I have 2. Going into turn 2. So first thing he does is he ambushes as he kind of sees this side is I've got a lot of units here, so he's going to try and reinforce this side. He actually brings in both of his jump pack Marines into combat here. So, and the first thing he does is he charges my scouts. I think he was thinking, hey, I can kill these guys and be in cover. I think he forgot that my Banshees they're fast and they have Strider, and that my Banshees can get to those guys. I think that he was honestly thinking that like my Banshees, I'm pretty sure he forgot that they had Strider, and so I think that he probably would have done that differently if he, first time playing this army, he may, not realized what he was getting into here. But he does charge my Rangers, so that's his Marines coming in, and he kills them, pretty easily done. So at this point, I move my Dire Avengers up, and they unload into the other squad. They kill everyone but the captain. So the captain is wiped out all the squad. He passes his morale. He then it's off screen, but he takes some shots with his heavy walker onto my Scorpions. As you're going to see, the next time you see their Scorpions, they're down to like 2 models. So I didn't take pictures of this, but he's basically shooting down my Scorpions. And so what I do, I move up. So he shot his flamer into my Scorpions, and he shot his autocannon into my jet bikes. He did a wound on them, and then he killed some Scorpions. So he's really using his weapons to full effect, where he's got a short range weapon and a long range weapon. He's able to target multiple units. So I knew that exosuit was going to be acting next, and that thing had that lock-on missile. So I mean, I was pretty certain that these Shining Spears were not going to survive. So I went ahead and just moved them up, and I thought I'm at least going to kind of whittle down this tack squad. So I shot, and I think I killed 4 of them, so I did pretty good. That's something that's very useful about these Shining Spears is you've got the spears for tough units, and then you've got your shard guns for like infantry. Like, and these guys 12 shots. So it's easily able to whittle down, a Marine squad down to 1 or 2 members. So I think they did their purpose. They really kept his unit back and whittled down this tack squad. So he then brought up his Exoscrute Walker and he shot them. I think he rolled pretty bad, and I rolled pretty decent, and I ended up with just 1 wound left. And one of the things that you're going to notice, there's some discrepancy about wound counters. So I am tracking how many wounds a person has taken, while he is tracking how many wounds a model has left. So if there's some discrepancy, that's what's going on. We're tracking wounds differently. So what this is showing is that this guy is on 1 wound left here, but he did survive. So that helped a little bit. At this point, my Banshees, they use their Strider, and they were able to get to him. We went a little more cinematic. So we took a little more liberties than our 3-inch move, and we wanted it to look a little more cinematic. So we kind of placed the models where they would look cool. In the end, it didn't matter because I murder all of them. So in the end, it didn't really matter that we're being a little more liberal with how we're placing models because I killed all of them. I think I left one wound on that captain with my Banshees. My Banshees were probably one of the MVPs of this game. You know, a combination of fast and Strider is just very good on them. So again, now both of his assault squads are dead, and he just has two of his captains left. So this is what's been happening to my Scorpions. They've been getting shot on multiple occasions from his tack squad. Tries to shoot them. They're managing, so they're just really down to the leader and one guy left. And I do manage to have enough to charge the tack squad, and I do kill them. So that does help. But I don't think my Scorpion is going to be long for this world. And again, the way he armed his walkers is really useful in that he's got his flamer that he's flaming me, and then he's got his autocannon that he's shooting across the board. So he armed his walkers really well. So he charged. So his leader now has 2 wounds left on him, and he charged my Dire Avengers. This is where I'm going to be running my Dire Avengers with that sword upgrade, if not 2 in the future. I think it's really nice to have 1 or 2 models that've got an energy sword in there. So he goes in there, he attacks him, kills 3 Dire Avengers, and then I swing back on him, and with the energy sword, I managed to kill that leader. So they consolidate. I was actually trying to find a way for them to get out of range of the plasma guns. So I moved towards the building with the objective where the Banshees are. But all he did was he just basically moved his support Marines down a level and just shot them, and he blew them up. So I think he got 2 hits. And then that's 6 blast hits, and it just, you know, I think there was one model. Yeah, there's one model left afterwards. So again, triple plasma on support squads is absolutely disgusting. So all right. So you see that's what's happening. The last thing I did is I just moved up my support battery, and I actually shot one of his remaining TAC Marines. I think it missed it and it failed. All right, turn 3. So I didn't get a chance to take a picture because it really happened fast. One of the things about OPR with this alternating movement is that you really can skip a few things, but basically my Banshees, you know, with fast and Strider, I was able to get to that support squad, you know, because I think it was around 12 inches and then 3 inches to climb up a level. So I just climbed up and just killed the support squads, and then they consolidated down to the first level. So just those Banshees are just doing work for me. He moved up and he flamed. He shot his autocannon at my support battery, did a wound or 2, and then he flamed my Scorpions. My leader is left, which is 1 wound left. So probably going to die. My leader just goes ahead and charges him. I haven't been mentioning the fact, but basically my leader has not made 1 single psychic test this entire game. I think I was literally picking like the -1 to hit. So all I needed is a 3 up. And I never was able to get 1 single psychic spell off. So I don't know. That's just rolls. Anyway, I charge him, I do a wound, and then he stomps back and he finishes off my leader. At that point, I have 1 Dire Avenger left. He like I said, he did pass his morale test, and he charges the remaining captain. Rolls a 6 on that rending sword, and that captain only had 1 wound left. So I was managed to finish off his other captain. So both his captains are dead now. And now you see he's at this point, with him killing my noble, he secured that right objective. And with me killing his captain with my Dire Avenger, I've secured the left objective. So now we just have the middle objective, and he's moving that tac squad member around. And the other thing he does is he moves up his exosuit, and he takes a shot and does some wounds on my platform. So, and I shot his lone tac marine, but he saves. So on turn 4, there's really only one. I went first because I had less models, and there was really only one thing left for me to do. It's 1 picture for turn 4 in which I shot his tac marine with my support battery and killed him. At that point, the game is over with. He can't get any of his units to the center or the left. So it ends up being a very close game and a 2-1 victory. I would definitely say my opponent rolled worse than me. I had a couple of really good rolls, and he just over average didn't roll great that game. So I think if rolls were a little better, it easily could have been in his favor. But as it stands now, it's a 2-1 victory to the Eldar, the Biel Tan Eldar army. So let's go over some learning points. I learned a lot playing this game about Grimdark. Grimdark's a lot different than Age of Fantasy. In that a lot of these monsters and vehicles, they all have that, a lot of them have that armor 2 up, and that's not how it was in Age of Fantasy. And so you really do need to bring some anti-armor. I need to look about beefing up some of the anti-armor in my army, because if someone brings an army like his that has a lot of tough units, especially those tough 12 units, it's going to be very difficult for me. The other thing is I made a mistake is, as I pictured, I deployed my support battery first, but all that allowed him to do, it allowed him to deploy away from it. So those support batteries are really better off if you deploy them kind of last, and that where you're able to get in a good firing position. Like my support battery would have done a lot more work if it was deployed on the left after I saw his support brothers go down. So I think I'm going to start holding those sort of units towards the end of deployment. It just gets into, really think about what units you need to deploy first. I may try a Viper rather than a support battery. The support battery it did okay, but I think a Viper actually would do better for me. So I'm going to try that in my next army. And again, I go back to it. Terrain is very important. We played with a lot of terrain. We kind of followed the rules that OPR suggests, which is to basically never have a firing line across the board. There should be no firing lines across the board. You need to have terrain that covers that. So a lot of blocking terrain and difficult terrain is very important, especially blocking terrain, because difficult terrain is one thing, but you really do need blocking terrain. One of the things I also learned is that Fearless on Battle Brothers is just so good. I mean, basically having their entire army stick on a 2+ is just really good. At the same time, I really like fast. And my Eldar, I love having a lot of my units have fast. It just comes in handy so often. That 16-inch charge range is just so good, especially when you have scalp on some of your units. Well, thanks for watching. Just a few things. Let me know. I'm happy to play you guys on Universal Battles 2, Grimdark, Mage Knight, Age of Fantasy, whatever you want to play. Always interested in more feedback. I need to get better at taking pictures. A couple of my pictures are still coming out blurry, so I do need to just be very careful and try and get some more clear pictures. But I love Grimdark. I have to say that I broke out my Eldar. I haven't touched my Eldar for 10 years, and I've always ran my Eldar as a Biel Tan aspect warrior. And I don't know if you know about 40K, but Eldar aspect warriors have been bad for so long. It's always been about the jet bikes. It's always been about the Wraith guard. I love that, aspect warriors are good again. I love that banshees are good again. I don't know what GW just had a thing. They just hated banshees. Banshees were such a terrible unit for so long that it's really nice that banshees are good. I mean, they're not, I don't think they're broken, but they're a good unit, and I love running them. I think I'm looking forward to playing bigger armies where we can bring, maybe even get in a second unit. So I love OPR. I love how they've done it, and I love my Biel Tan. I love that I can play aspect warriors again. So thanks a lot, everyone.